Do you need to remember anything to exist? So whatever we remember, at least it's not a aid to our existence. Okay, these words just jumped out. Let's start. Namaste everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Sadhguru Srimati Ji ki Jai. So if all the stories from the past are not helping us to exist in this moment, what purpose do they serve? And you might say that all that will help me take care of some future moment. This is the game we keep playing. What does it help us do? Without any story, what are you right now? Isn't it funny that we come to meet to satsang to meet that which is always here, to get rid of that which is never here? Ego, the sense of I am something, the sense that I am separate. Without a story, where does it go? The experience of this world continues to be experienced. Our perception is still on. Life is still being lived. Did you stop breathing without a story? Did your heart start beating? Stop beating? Eyes stop functioning? Ears are still hearing? What happened when we dropped the story? Everything that we need is already here in the moment right now. And what do we really need? Is the experience of this world a need that we have? Is it a need or a play? So that which needs to go into the past, and that which has an idea of what the future should be like, that is not needed in satsang. You're new to satsang. So one golden rule is that our primary intent, if there is such a thing, our primary intent is to find the truth which is unchanging. Because if there is truth that is changing, that doesn't have much value. We had many such truths and we held on to them, and then we had to let go of them because life squeezed them out of us. So what is the truth which is unchanging? And if it is unchanging, where must it be? It must be here now. So then we don't need to refer to the past, or we don't need to project into the future. When we are looking for the truth or the self, presumably we are here for self-realization, self-recognition. It just that our habit has become to look for things which seem to be outside. Then we look for the self also as if it will come as if it is an experience. So you might not say it so openly, you've been in Satsang long enough. But if you usually ask people what is self-realization or liberation or freedom, this should happen. I must always be happy. There should be miracles happening around me. There should be a halo around my head. Now, where is all this? Outside, in the realm of experiences. It might be a bit confusing. So, if you look at what we mean also by self realization or recognition, we associate it with some effect. See, what is the effect of self realization? If I'm realized, then I must be like this. If I'm enlightened, then I must be like that. So, for a while, even forget about the concept of enlightenment, because that will just be an effect if there is an effect to happen. But what is the first part? Self. Not the effect, which is enlightenment or liberation. What is the first part, which is the self? Where must we go to find this? In which direction should we turn? Should we turn to find the self? You can say which direction. What turn will you take to go towards the self?
Well, if I
Four options. North, south, east, west.
No, I will look at I.
I will look at I. How?
By recognizing, at least having seen some, because it's the self means like myself is only, I'm looking for my truth. I'm not looking for the truth of these glasses. So it's my truth, then I must look at me. I've been trying to find happiness somewhere, but if I'm just looking for the self, I'm not looking for any happiness, then I have to look at the self.
Good. I get the meaning of what you're saying, but let's drill down even deeper. Why are you not looking for the body?
Because it's already apparent to me already visually.
Because it seems like the body already is here. Nobody is running around looking for the body. There might be some. We'll talk about that separately. Nobody is running around looking for their body.
We may be looking for our subtler bodies as we learn.
So we'll come to that. I knew it's an attractive topic. But usually in our experience, we find nobody saying, if you talk to someone and say, what are you doing? They say, I'm looking for my body. What? What is this? How come we don't have the same reaction? And so many thousands or millions of people are looking for the self. She had the answer, she had the clue to that. But let's really question it. All of us are supposed to be spiritual seekers, therefore looking for the self, the realization of the self. The word self means what? It is what I am. It is myself. Now, body we are not looking for. Body we say is already here. But self is where? It's very important, this point.
But you gave us the clue by removing realization now.
Yeah.
And then immediately you can see that I'm already the self. Yes. Because if we feel that just being the self is incomplete, then I need some realization, right?
Yeah, so just let's really drill down on this point. So we see that if the truth is true, if reality is real, if God is real, if the self is real, then it must be here now. So then when we look at what is here now, it seems apparent that the body is here. Why? It seems apparent because it is also an object of our senses. So at least you can look at the contours of the body and say, okay, there is something substantial that I can hold on to. Now, if I start asking, so what witnesses even this? And if you don't go to a learned concept about it, if you don't go to an imagination about it is that who is the Sakshi, the witness of this? So then we can include this body and every other phenomenal experience and say, who is the witness of these? And it's a simpler question. If you try to apply our mind to it, then it seems like it's very complex. I have to pull out the right concept, and I don't have it. But right now, what witnesses everything? Is it you or somebody else? See, what can we say about this one? That which witnesses everything. What do we say about that one? And again, the mind will come with answers, the mind will come with imagination. But stay with your present experience. Stay with your insight as it is. If I tell you that you are not witnessing anything, does it make sense? If I tell you that it is the next one in the hangout, in the Zoom, or your neighbor sitting next to you who's actually witnessing everything, does it make sense? You cannot relate to that experience. You can only relate to your own witnessing. That I am witnessing this world. This I, which is witnessing the world, this one is primary. You see. So many stories we tell about our body. I was born here, here is where I live, these were my parents, you see, this is what I learned, this is where my school was, I learned to walk at this age, this body has this affliction and that affliction, these are the things that it went through. So much we talk about the body, but the I, which witnesses all of this, have we spoken about that? What can we say?
Just realized that, like when you, that this I can't be seen like the body can be seen. This witnessing I can only I can't see it, but I can only know that I am.
Yes.
I can't have an objective.
Yes. So it cannot be seen in a physical way. Huh? So how can we say that it exists? Because we have learned that for something to exist, it must be perceivable. Otherwise, it's a myth. My son, they have this concept. You know, one of them is bragging about something. They'll say photo or it didn't happen. Post a photo of it or you're just making it up. So this is how we've learned that we have phenomenal or perceptual evidence of something, then we can say it is true. If it is not there, it seems like it is not true. Now, when it comes to the witnessing, we are in trouble. At least the mind is in trouble. Because it's undeniable also that I am the witness of everything. But I cannot find the shape of it. I cannot find the color of it. Then how do we know? What kind of knowing is this? That knows that I am the witness of all these appearances. I keep going back to what Ashtavakra said. He said, you are the one witness of all there is. He was talking about you. In your experience, it is true. You have witnessed everything. But which you is this one? In many of the Upanishads, it says, remain the witness. Remain as the witness. My question is, can I not remain as a witness? Can I turn this witness off? Therefore, the pointing only means that don't pretend to be something that you are not. Whatever happens, if you are not there to witness it, does it have any meaning? You at least have to witness a concept of it. This witness is your discovery of that which is the unchanging self. For now, we'll keep it simple like this. We'll keep it simple like this because if you quickly start to look at whether this is the perceiver and whether awareness is perceiving even this, then it might get a bit confusing. Let's first even just look at this. What is it that witnesses our thoughts? What is it that witnesses the space between our thoughts? You know what I mean when I say space between the thoughts? Like a thought comes. Oh, this is making sense. Oh, usually in first satsang is this is making no sense. So that is the thought. Then the next thought comes after some time. But it's okay or something. Now between the first one and the second one, it seemed like there's a gap, even if it seemed like it is slight. So this one that witnesses this gap, like you can experiment for yourself and see. The thought will come, and you'll find that usually when you start inviting thoughts, they seem to be not so rampant. Before you invited them to come in, it can be, it's too abstract, it's too difficult, I'm not getting it. It's all these thoughts of, then when you start inviting them, not so many. Thought. So that which watches these thoughts changing, which one is that one? Is that itself changing? The changing of the thought, the changing of the imagination or memory, whatever might be perceived. Is that which witnesses it also changing? And which one is you? Don't go all Advaita on me. I know both are you. But which one is more intimately you? The thought which comes and goes, or you that remain to see that that thought came. If I ask you, okay, bring some focus to your next thought and tell me what it was. So the thought would have come and gone, but you remain. So the thought is changing. You remain as the unchanging. Same way, emotions are constantly changing, but you remain unchanging. Everything else, the world is obviously constantly changing. This room has never been exactly like this before. Even this online arrangement has never been exactly like this before. It's constantly changing. This body is constantly changing, shedding cells all the time, new cells being created, millions of processes happening in the body, constantly changing. Now, all of this play at all these different levels is a constantly changing play. When you come to satsang, you're basically saying, I want to know what is the unchanging. What is it that I truly am? Because I see that everything around me is changing. All my relationships are also always changing. Nothing stable I find in this world. I want to look for that which remains unchanging. What in your experience doesn't change? What doesn't change? Is the audio good for everyone? Shubhra said she's having some trouble. It's good for everyone else. Okay. Speak from your experience and preferably speak from your experience of right now. I know the question can sound contradictory. What is I'm changing right now? You know what I mean? What do you find right now, which is always this way?
Just witnessing.
Who does this witnessing belong to?
That's what I wanted to check with you. So, when we began and you asked the question simply, who sees this? I was with great confidence saying, I am. Right? And I recognize that I am can be seen. I'm witnessing, but I can't be seen. And then when we're just keeping silent, this I am, which seemed extremely intimate, and me just seems to be, I don't know, it's just something's happening with it. But the witnessing is not stopping. The witnessing is not giving any meaning to anything which it observes.
So what is it that we are finding? We're finding that we were looking for the self, Atma, whatever you call it, the self, as if we will find it as an object. We were hoping to find it like the body. We were hoping to find it like a visual experience of some sort, maybe some chakra or some portrayal of God. All those can be there. But what witnesses even that? Is that which is appearing, dancing in front, that more intimately I, or that which witnesses even that. There is no more of a troublesome concept to the mind than this one. Because it can smell in these words the pointing that you are not an object. And the mind's focus has constantly been to convince ourselves that we are an object. If you were not a thing, is it okay with you? Mostly for those who've been in Satsang. If you're not something, are you okay with that?
Seems that there are still the need or the idea that it is important to be sense for all.
Yes.
This was coming to die and now it's Satsang.
If,
Such a
yeah.
complex life.
But even this meaning something for others is meaningful for me. No? If I did not find meaning in being meaningful for others, then it would be a worthless concept. So, what do we find here? Is that we have given meaning to the idea of a person or an identity or the ego. But when we start to look, we find that there is no such thing here. There is nothing really called the person. There is a body here. There are thoughts. There are other sensations. All kinds of phenomena. No real entity called the person. Then what you're finding about yourself is that you are empty of attributes and qualities, color, shape and size, name and form. In India, that which has name and form is called an object of Maya. So what doesn't have name and form? You don't, in reality, yourself. Otherwise, nobody. Okay, but everything is Maya, including yourself. Your Atma is also Maya. Nobody says that. See why? So if everything that has name and form is Maya, then that which is beyond name and form. You see? So are we going to allow it to just remain as a concept? Oh, Maya is name and form. My soul, many people have the concept of the soul, is beyond name and form. So are we going to just allow that to remain a concept? Or are we going to have an insight about it? Are we going to be able to find this soul or Atma? My invitation is yes. I'm just pointing out that there will be some frustration along the way because as you're looking for the witness, you don't find something that you can hold on to. You don't see an image of it, you don't see a color of it, and yet you know that you are the witnesses. Now, that which is frustrating to the mind will actually become your joy because if you see that you have no phenomenal attributes, then you really cannot be hurt in this world. Then you have no need for anything. There's nothing to be feverish about and nothing to run away from. You find the truth of yourself as this consciousness, this effortless existence in which all things are moving, but it itself is not moving. All things are changing, but it itself is not changing. That stability that we are looking for, that contentment that we are looking for, will not come from an unstable world. We've seen ourselves, everybody says, the world is unstable, this body is unstable. We looked at all these layers, and yet, where is everyone looking at stability from? That which is always changing. So what is unchanging? What witnesses the change is that unchanging. Just empty words don't mean anything here. Because even the best sounding words can become part of our stories. So before I go today, maybe we can look at a question or two if they are short. Is there some water here? So we have a question. Rahul says, hello Anantaji. I recognize myself as awareness right now. But I have some innate negative tendencies due to childhood impressions that come into operation and pull me into their delusion and successfully color my perception. Your advice with this is. So you have defined this entire play of delusion. This is how the self functions. You say very rightly that when you check, you see that you are this primal witness, this that which is aware even of your existence. You see that, you say. Then what happens? You say, I get caught up in some tendencies. There are some tendencies here. So, what is the meaning of this? First, there must be a sense that you exist. There can be no tendency unless there is a sense of existence. I exist, I am. Because a tendency only means I am something. Tendency only means that I am something. Nothing cannot have a tendency. Or that which is limitless, boundless, cannot have a tendency. So tendency must mean first that I am something. So you say there was awareness, there is a sense that I am, and the tendency is that I am something. Now, stay with the now. You say when you check, you see that you are this awareness right now. Notice that even the sense of existence is effortless. How does the tendency come? We won't even postmortem them. We won't look at the past and why they came. We talked about it in the past, saying that could be because of parents, could be various things that happen. So you say due to childhood impressions. But in the right now, if you check and you find that you are awareness, then how is it that you become something else? Can it happen without the thought? If a thought doesn't come, what are you? We're not trying to push away thoughts. But imagine for a moment that no thought came. What are you then? You just are. Empty of a concept of yourself. You continue to exist. If the thought vanishes, do you also vanish? You just are. Now, after the thought comes, you notice that it is either believed in. That means, what does it mean to believe it? It means to say that it is true. Something gives its assent to the thought, says the truth value is one, says that the thought is true. And not only that, it also says that it is meaningful. It could be that there are 100,000 grains of salt in a container in my kitchen. But can this concept become a condition for you? It doesn't, because it might be true, but it is not meaningful. So that which we say is true and also has meaning for me, that becomes then a conditioning or a tendency. So it is to hold on to this conditioning, to hold on to these tendencies, which has taken so much effort. Because first the concept has to come as a thought, then we have to, attention of course goes to it, then we have to say that it is true and meaningful. Then it becomes a belief. So much work is happening. You see? So although satsang might feel like I'm asking you to take some effort, it is actually to come to your effortlessness. So in this moment, right now, before I give you a moment to even think, you are free, you are empty of this condition. Now, now, now. And as I'm saying now, many times the mind might be saying but, waiting with the objection. So the mind has a condition to offer you, and I have the pointing now to offer you. What are you right now? I know that you are empty of condition. But consciousness has given itself the ability to pretend as if lies are true about it. It has given itself the ability to pretend that any condition can apply to it. What you're discovering about yourself in your own report is that you are without any attribute, without any limitation, without any color, shape, or size. And what every condition is telling you about yourself is that you are limited, you are a body, you are some type of a person, you have desires. That is constantly the story from the mind. But in this moment, you have a discovery that I am this awareness. And none of this really applies to this awareness. That is why the inquiry is beautiful, you see. Because as you keep coming to this recognition of the truth of what you are, that which is false will look more and more meaningless. And as it starts to look more and more meaningless, you'll find it more and more difficult to give belief to these concepts, which are selling you your limitation, which are telling you that you have a duration between birth and death, that is you. This, this bucket of flesh and meat, that is you. This is what the mind is saying. So these are conditions, whatever the condition might be, even our spiritual conditions. So then what is it that, as long as there is a sense of doership, what is it that I can do? Till I come to the authentic discovery, full of integrity, that there is no individual doer here, what is it that I can do? Now, all of spirituality is based on that. Isn't it? Because if all the masters know that there is no individual doer here, why did they give all these instructions? Why did they say, do the self inquiry, meditate, do yoga? Because the conditioning itself seems so magnetic to our belief, to consciousness, that it can seem like I cannot be free from this unless you tell me what to do. So let me see if I can tell you all what to do, and you can decide what is the most comfortable. The first is just let go, surrender everything to whoever you have some devotion with. The true point of having that devotion is that everything is that one's problem. So if you say, Father, we have some devotion for you, then let everything be done by Father. Now, this one is a tricky one because as you give up what is to be done to Father, you also must give up what is experienced also to Father. So if Father has to do everything, then Father is also experiencing everything. Otherwise, it is only half surrender. That you are the doer, but I am still sitting here as an experiencer. But if it is half surrender or none at all, then just start with picking half surrender. It's okay. So some of you might feel like there is no such devotion or there is no such being that you can feel, or even a devotion to God or any such power is not there. So you can just say, yes, he or she is taking care of everything. Nothing is my problem. You don't find anything like that. Then what should you do? Then what you should do is find out what you really are. How to find out? Just in satsang, what we do every day is this inquiry. What is it that I really am? Who am I? So these two are the main pointings, main direction in this path. Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharishi had clarified very clearly that surrender and self-inquiry. For some of you it is surrender or self-inquiry. For some of you it is surrender and self-inquiry. It's okay, whatever permutation and combination, whatever feels most natural to you. So he had brought about such a beautiful movement in a way, such a beautiful change, where the crux of all Vedanta, the crux of true spirituality, was made so simple in a simple direction. Surrender means you, Guru or God, you are the one doer and the one experiencer. Everything is yours. Let thy will be done. Inquiry means who is the witness of these thoughts? Who is the witness of this world? Who am I right now? So most of the words spoken in satsang are invitation and provocation for inquiry. Now the beauty about this is that as you let go, as you surrender, what you truly are will also become clear. There's so much space for this simple self-recognition when we're not constantly after what's in it for me. When you're not constantly running about in the belief of this concept, what's in it for me, you will find that there is so much spaciousness to recognize your truths. And as you are doing the inquiry, as you're coming to the recognition of the truth, you find that the beautiful surrender to your own presence, which is the same as the Guru's presence or God's presence, is also happening on its own. That's why that although they might seem like two different ways, actually, as Bhagavan said, there are two different wings of the same bird. You start flapping about with either of them, you will see that both are there. Now, some of you might say that the surrender I don't understand, and this inquiry, though I definitely don't get. What is the point of just sitting and asking who am I? Some of you might say that. Then for those, it might actually be helpful to look at a simple practice. And if there's anyone who feels like that, they can always come to me and say that I feel like my mind is so noisy. I feel like the belief is so rampant. And I don't feel like I'm devoted to anything. I can't really surrender it. And the inquiry is just not bringing any insight to me about what I am. So there is no peace which is coming in my life because of these pointings. So to you, I might prescribe something. You might call it meditation, you might call it chanting, whatever you might call it. If you feel that even this becoming more meditative in our life, more contemplative in our life, is not something that appeals to you, or even the concept of chanting something doesn't appeal to you, even the concept of just staying with what is, staying with your breaths, for example, sounds like it is alien and has no appeal for you. Then I might say, but still, you must come with this integrity and say, this is what it is. Then I might tell you something else. I might ask you to do some spiritual exercises. I might ask you to sing some devotional songs. Or I might ask you to do some seva, do some service which doesn't have a me at the center of it. Do something, anything which has no me at the center of it. So all of this is a response to what should I do? And most of spirituality is about this. Of course, there will come a time where with the integrity, you will see that there is no doer here, there is no limited entity here. Therefore, there is nothing to do. All is being done. As we surrender our doership, experiencership, we find that the experience of this world continues, and that which needs to be done also continues in its own beautiful way, with no expectation of what the outcome should be. But what is all of this about? It is all about coming to this moment empty of a resistance to what is, empty of a notion of what it should be. Just coming to the simplicity of existence, simplicity of being. And because our conditions have been so complicated, it can seem like all these various options are there for us to be empty of these conditions. It's funny because already all this cleanup has happened on its own. In this moment, we are empty of everything. But it can feel like if I pick up the lightest of concept, the entire tree of conditioning seems to be back. In this moment, all that is needed, if anything at all, is a simple openness, a simple allowing. Allow your thoughts to come and go. And even if your belief goes to some of them sometime, allow yourself to see that that was just how it was meant to be. In this moment, you are empty of all of that. Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadhguru Sri Muji Ji ki Jai.
Sadhguru Shri Ananta-Ji ki Jai.
Turn some light on. We have the birthday girl is here. I know she doesn't like the fuss at all if you fuss about her.
What?
I know you don't like the fuss about these things.
No, this year I'm very neutral.
Very good.
What's going on?
Simple. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Maria.
Dear Maria,
Happy
happy birthday
to
to you.
May
Oh,
Guruji bless
bless
you.
you.
May
May
Guruji
Guruji
bless
bless
you.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
dear.
dear Maria.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Everybody's writing messages.
Now I want get birds. Get birds. not birds die.
But
But dead
Yeah.
die. No, dead dies. And the different.
so it looks like how the schedule will be over the next few days because of all the planning for the visit and everything. Okay, yes, also, and if you don't know that, just after the Guru Purnima celebration we had here in advance, and my visa came, so I will be going to Monte Sahaja. So we'll leave on the night of the 7th. So besides the 7th, most likely for the next few days we will have satsang at this same time. And on the 7th, we'll have it in the morning because in the evening then we have to leave for the flight. So I know that this time is not the best for some of you in America, and usually we try to switch it about a bit. But for the next few days, it looks like it'll be at this time. I want to share this beautiful story that, this beautiful satsang happened and so much blessing was there from all of you. So much prayer was here for Guruji. And it's funny that just a very little time after satsang, the visa came to go to Sahaja, and I called my travel agent. And before I gave him the news, he said, "Ah, sir, you were in my namaz today," and I was praying for your visa in my namaz, and I just gave him the news just after that, saying, "Yes, it's come just now." It's a beautiful, beautiful appearance, even this world. These kind of beautiful stories, these beautiful blessings, all these things happen. And of course, the visa is for all of us. It's the entire Sangha which I carry with me in my heart to Guruji's feet. So this body, as it is my father's son, as it is my Guru's disciple, is also a representation of all of you. So I don't feel like It's just me and my biological family which is going to Sahaja, but it feels like all of us will be on this pilgrimage together. Sadhguru Shri Moji Ji ki jai.